it went into the infinity loop, that means the value of I becoming 5 all the time, right? It's not increasing. That means this statement is not executing. Let's understand while loop and do while loop. So here, while loop. Now, here, if I talk about the syntax, it almost works similar. So here, syntax, I have to pass while, and here in this bracket, I need to pass a condition. Here, body, and if this condition gets satisfied, here will be statement. As we have been doing in for loop, we will increment the value or decrement the value. Similarly, we will be doing inside this while loop, because we don't have something like for loop, a different 3 block here. So first, at the top, if required, we will initialize that value, or directly, so we can declare or initialize. Now here the condition will get checked, and inside this we will do increment or decrement to that variable value. So now let me just comment and give an example. So first example here. Now we have been talking about the printing a number from 1 to 10, right? So let me do that. So for that, I will declare a variable and max limit equal to 10. Now, I know max limit is 10. I have to create a iterator. So I will call it as let iterator equal to 0. So what does it mean actually? So here, as you can see, I have done this initialization. Now, while and I should be less than or equal to max limit, and I can go with 1 here because I am applying here equal to. Now I need to provide the body. So before that, I will do console log of I, and I will do the increment here. Now if I execute this program, I will get the same output what we were getting with the above program to print the number 1 to 10. So right now cd, and here you go. So we got similar thing. At the end of the day, we are doing the same, means we are breaking these things into 3. So here initialization, here is condition, and inside this definitely we have to do this increment or decrement. So this is how it works. Question was find the sum of digits of numbers, right? So here I will give a few example. Okay, so example here, let's say I have n equal to 1, 2, 3. So what should be the answer? 1 plus 2 plus
6.
3, yeah, which is equal to 6. So this should be the answer here. If I divide this number by 10, what will happen? Will I get this last digit 3 as a reminder? So if I divide this number by 10, what will be the result? So I need reminder. So divided by 10. So here I will get this 3. Right? Now I will remove this 3 after that. We'll see how to remove. And after that, I will have just 12. I will again do the modulo by using 10. And this time I will get 2. Now the only 1 will be remaining. If I do 1 modulo 10, I will get 1. And now here you go. I have 3 plus 2 plus 1. And I can add them. And now this value becomes 0. So I can stop the loop. Okay. So now we have discussed about 2 operators. So divide operator and this modulo operator. So modulo operator will give me the reminder, and division will give me how many times it got divided. So if I divide with this 10, I will get 12, which I wrote here. And if I do the modulo, I will get just 3. Here I have 12. I will just divide this with 10 and I will get 1, because only one time I can divide. So 1 and 2 will be remainder, and I will keep doing unless I get here 0. So let's see how can we do this. So first, let number equal to 1 to 3. Now I will write while number not equal 0. If number is not equal to 0, just keep executing this. That is what I am writing. Now, first thing I have initialized. Second, I wrote the condition. Now I need to modify this number variable. Otherwise, it will ended up in infinity loop, right? So infinity loop is something which will never end. Means value will grow and loop will keep executing all the time. So now here I need to do that. So before that, let's do console.log and number modulo 10. And now I am not modifying, so it will ended up here in infinity loop. And as you can see, I am getting this 3 all the time. I need to stop. Okay. Now here I need to modify the value. So this will give me the reminder. So I will create a variable const rem reminder, and here you go. I have this reminder. Now I need to get sum of reminder, right? So I will create a variable outside called sum of digits and equal to 0. Once I have this reminder, I will write sum of digits. Okay, let me use this operator alone as of now. Something like this. So what did I do here? Sum of digit means first time I will get 0, and what will happen if I get value 1, 2, 3? So it will divide it, which reminder will give me 3 alone. So I will add this 3 here in sum of digit, which is 0 here, and right at the last it will be 3. Now I need to modify this number. So for that, I will do number divided by 10 and assign to number. Simple. Or I can just parse into int. So here, parse int, because I want to get only the decimal point number. I don't care about the after decimal. So that's why I am parsing it. As we have discussed in very first class, that if I divide 1 to 3, so I will get 12.3, right? So I don't want to get decimal. So I will get only 12 here by parsing in integer. Now let me execute, and as you can see, it got stopped. The loop got stopped. We are not printing anything. That's why it's also not printing. So now what will happen for the execution? For the very first time, let's say I will get 123, and it will check the condition is true because the number is not equal to 0. Now it will divide. I will get here 3. It will come to next line. Here sum of value is 0 and 3. 0 and 3 equal to 3. So at last sum of digit value will be 3 here. Now let's come to this line. So number is 123. 123 divided by 10, which is equal to 12.3. Now I am converting, means I am just parsing into integer, which will give me 12, and finally I am storing in number. So now the value of number will be 12. Again, we don't have other line of code here, so it will jump to while loop, and here it will check 12 is not equal to 0. Yeah, it's not. So now again 12 here modulo 10, so it will be 2. Now sum of digit is already 3 plus 2, which is going to be 5. Now here 12 modulo 10, this time I will get only 1. Now again it will go, it will check here, and 1 which is not equal to 0, and here it will do the remainder and it will give me 1 because it's not divisible even single time. So now here sum of digit plus remainder, right? So 5 already I have in sum of digit, and this time I will get 1 which is 6. Now if I divide here, I will get the value 0. So here it will come, and now the value of I will be value of number will be 0, and here it's checked, the condition is false, and it will terminate the loop. So now here, as you can see, this is just a local variable, we don't need outside. Here I got the result 6, sum of digit. So now I need to print here console.log sum of digit, and hope we will get our answer. Here you go. Now let's provide this random value, something like this, and verify. I got 43. So guys, I need your help to add this number because I'm not very good with math. So here 7 and 3, it's 10, 16, 20, 23, 30, and 35, and yeah, 5, 40, and 3, 43. It's correct. Now let's talk about do while loop. So if I do the syntax here, almost it is gonna be same. So now syntax do, and here I will have the statements. Okay, now at the last I will have this while, and here condition. Okay, so this is the syntax here. In other iteration, means for loop or while loop, you have noticed that condition will be at the first, but in do while loop the condition will be at the last. Okay, now first it will execute this block for the very first time. That means this loop will get executed at least once. If your condition is even false, it will execute once, because it will execute this block first, and after that it will check the condition. So let's say I have provided something as a false, it will come inside, right? It will execute this, and after that only it will check the condition, and for the next time it will terminate. So this is the major difference between do while loop and while loop, because while loop first execute the condition, and based on the condition it will execute the statements. But in do while loop, it will execute the statement and then execute the condition. So now let's get an example here. Let's do a basic thing first of all. Console. So do while loop. I will come out of it and I will write while, and condition, let's say false. For the very first time itself, I am passing this condition as a false. This is hard coded. I am not modifying. It's not dynamic. Now let's see. So here, as you can see, do while loop. So it got executed for the very first time. And after that, it came here, it checked the condition, which is false. So it will not go again. So now, can you tell me where I should use this? In a smartphone, attempting 3 times wrong password, I should lock your phone. Something like that. So there, if you can see, for the very first time, I would like you to enter password. So if you entered everything, so I will make this error as a false, so which will not execute this block. If not, I will check here, let's say error should be less than or equal to 3. And first time, let error equal to 0. Yeah, it should be less, let's say. So now what it will do? For the very first time, it will allow user to enter the password. Now, if user have entered the wrong password, that means I will increase the value of error. Okay. Now this value will become 1. Okay. And this is how it will get executed. Actually, this condition is being false because this is the 0, and once this 0 will get converted into the binary, it will be false. So here we are unable to increase this value. That's why it's keep on executing. So it went into infinity loop. So now if the error happen, actually we will just increase this value, and here we can check again. We can ask the same thing. It's used for the repetitive things, right? If the error happen, if you have entered wrong password, I will again increase the value of error and reload the same UI. So that is what we can do using do while loop. So those kind of scenario, because for the very first time I am not sure whether the user have entered anything or not, so I will load the UI. So this is how, for the very first time, we are just printing this message. And next time I will execute only if the condition is true. Otherwise, I won't. Here, another one topic called break and continue. We can do this break to come out of the loop. We can use this keyword. So first of all, let's understand why we need this and where we will apply. So let's say if error happen, in that case, you don't want to execute other things, right? You will stop immediately, come out of that loop if you are executing a loop. So there we can use this break, or there will be multiple scenario where you want to avoid the extra execution. So in that case, so let's say I was checking for the prime number. I found that number got divisible for the very first time, means with the 2 or 3. I will not keep iterating with the others as well. I will break the loop immediately and come out of it and will make the decision. I cannot wait until the loop get over. So for that, we will use the break. So now I have a simple while loop. Let's write. So, and here I am printing the value, as you can see. Now just let me execute, and 0, 1, 2, 9, it has printed. Now let's say just I want to print only till 5, or if I got the value 5, let's break the loop. So if I equal to 5, then break. Now you can see I got till 5, not more than that. And after that, immediately it will stop your loop. Okay, it will not let loop execute any more iteration. So here, once this condition got satisfied and break got executed, it will come out of this loop and it will execute next line. So here, console.log outside of loop, and now here, as you can see, 5, it has printed till there and out of loop. Okay, if I don't do break, it will print till 10 and then it will come out of loop once this condition get false. But in case of this break, it will come out of once this condition got satisfied and this break statement got executed. Next is continue. So here, continue, and basically this continue will get used to skip any one of the point. So let's say here the same example what we took, that I don't want to print this 5. So in that case, continue will help me to stop executing remaining of the line, and it will execute the other statement. So now let me copy the same program from here and paste it. Now here, as you can see, I have this. Okay. And if I write here continue, and let me just see. And here you go. It ended up in infinity loop. And guys, can you tell me why this is happening? If it went into the infinity loop, that means the value of I becoming 5 all the time, right? It's not increasing. That means this statement is not executing. If so, then why? So before this, let me just paste this at the top. And now let me execute this. And here you go. But I can't see any difference, isn't it? because here value I was 0. So I am doing increment first, so which will be 1, and it will start printing from 1. So it has printed 1 to 10 continuously. There's no issue with that. But right now, guys, let me show you by writing this console log here and I value. Okay, so for the first time, 1 here, 2 here, 3, 4. But can you see here something is missing? For the 5, I didn't get. I didn't get here for the 5 because this condition got satisfied. So this line means whatever the statement I have after this will get skipped. So statement will get skipped. Okay, so that's why I didn't get here. And again, as you can see, it got increased the value, so it will print for the 6. Condition is not satisfied, so here it will again execute the same. So here, some of part of the loop we are executing and we are skipping by help of this continue. Now, let's say you don't want to print the value of I at all, right? So I will remove, okay, let it be here. And I will just remove from the top and paste it here. Now what it will do? For the others, it will print the value, but for the 5, it will not. Here you go. You have here 4, you have here 6. There's no 5. And that is happening because once the value of I is 5, it will execute this continue statement, which will allow it to skip this. Or if I have 50 lines of code here, all of them will get skip here. Okay, so it will skip this and it will get back here with the next value because we have increased already. So this is how this continue work. Switch is something based on the value of it, you will execute certain line of code. Or we can go with API scenario. Once we will get the success or once we will get any error. So here I have, let's say, a status. Based on the status, you want to do something. So here a status, let's say success. Okay, now here switch, and I will have something like this. Switch, and you have to pass your status, and inside this there will be multiple cases. So here this is the one possibility. Now I have another one. So here I will do case and failed. Now colon, and here console.log failed. So whenever the status I will get as a success, it will execute this line alone. So I need to break because I don't want to execute after this next one. So I will break the statement. Now there is something called default, and here it will print this. So default, and this is how it will be. So now we have this status as a success. So let's execute this, and here we will get success. It will execute this block alone. It will not go to next one. Okay, if I pass here, let's say a status as a failed, it will execute. I think I did something wrong. Yeah. So here, as you can see, I did spelling wrong here. Right? Because failed, it should be something like this, right? If I failed. Yeah. So spelling was wrong here. And as you can see, the default got executed here. So if any one of the case is not matching with the type, the default block will get executed immediately. So here in this case, success was not, it was not matched with a status, didn't match to success and failed. That's why I got here default. Now I just corrected it. So I should get here failed. So here it will check for the case. So this is not true. So here it will come to next. It's true. So it will execute. So this is something like a if else as well, you can say. If the status is this, it will execute this block, otherwise this block, else this one. Or this will be the syntax. So basically, how many cases you want to define? You have to define with the case, And here you can go define the value of the status. What is the possible value here? And based on this value, what would you like to do? So those code goes here. This is how we can use switch. So here we will learn about the manipulation of number. Let's create a number. So const number equal to 7. Okay. And now here actually we have few methods as we discussed it last class. So console.log number, and I hope we have seen this method to string. So basically it will convert my number into a string, right? That is what we have discussed. And if I do any operation, it will do the concatenation, which is here 71. But now if you want to convert any number into, let's say, binary, so for that you can provide here value 2 and you will get here binary. So binary number of 7 is here 111. If you want to get for 16, you have to change here and you will get here this value. This is the 16 binary number. So for this, I can use this toString method. Now, if I want to provide, let's say for the octadecimal, I can go with 8. And here you go. I can go with 16. And here you go. And by default, it will be 10. So here, 10. That's why we are getting 16. If you don't provide any value, it will be 10. Okay. So this is the one of the functions we have on number. Now, let's look for others. So console.log. So before this toString, and here to convert into binary, and here representation, and here the number will be something like this. Okay, now let's understand the next line. So for next one, here we have something called toFixed. So number dot toFixed, and here let's go with 2. Now here I execute, and here you go. So here, let's say you have something requirement that you want to display all the numbers with 2 decimal points. So let's say you have this value, right? Dot 67. So right now it will print your 67. It will not do the auto conversion or anything. Actually, you have these many digits after the decimal points. So in this case, it will round that and it will make here 16.68. So it's just rounded up. Now let me just provide here value 4. And here you go. So this is the general math what we use. If the next value is more than 5 or more than 5, it will go for ceiling, and not, then it will go for floor. So that's why last time when it was 7, it printed 6.68 because this 7 was greater than 5, and it just increased the value at the top. Means 7 to 8, it just converted. Now the value is 4 here, which is the floor value, means less than 5. So it will just do the lower. So that's why it's make it 0, remaining 1. So here it stay 6.7. Okay. So now this is what we can use here for to fix and get the similar digit. Now let's say if you don't have this decimal, it will add 2 decimal, means 20 by itself. So it make your representation consistent. So let's say if you are dealing with currency, right? So in that case, you want this decimal to be there everywhere. So you can do that. Okay. So we have here math dot, and these are the functions actually we can apply. So here, as you can see, so seal, this is the what I was talking. So here number. Okay. Otherwise, let's go with number written here. Why to create a variable? Now, if I print this, so console.log, Here I am doing the ceiling. So it will auto convert this because this value is 8. So here it will make 17. That is what happened. If I write here 2 or 1, whatever, right now we are calling this ceiling, means ceil method. So it will automatically pick the upper value all the time. But in case of to fixed, it was dynamically based on the next value to each. So right now, let me write here another one, floor. And right now it will make this 16. If I write here 9, it will make 16 only. So this is how we can use these math functions. We have a lot of functions here actually. So you can use this square root. So if I write here 4, here as you can see, I got this 2. If I write here 9, I will get 3. If I write 10, I will get this value. Okay, so we are able to find square root of it. So this will give you the absolute value. So minus 56, it will return me only 56. It will convert into the absolute value. I will send you some of the blogs and you guys can explore about the math function as well. And string const name string, and let me just do console.log name dot. Okay, didn't suggest anything because of the duplication. So here let's say first name and abc first name. Now if I execute, I got the same, and here you go. So I hope I do remember that we have discussed about this caret. I have to pass the index number, and based on that, it will return me the character on that index. If I pass a 0, I will get here A, because at the 0th index, I have this A. Now let's pass here 10. And here, as you can see, 10 index doesn't exist here at all. So that's why I got empty. Now let's go to next function. So here character code add. So if I pass here 0 index, again I need to pass index. And here I got this 65. Okay. But here we haven't mentioned anywhere 65, isn't it? So why I am getting this? So basically, whatever the value we have at index 0, so that is A in this case, and A will get converted into the ASCII code. So that's why ANSI code we are getting as a 65. If I write here, let's say here 1, I think we will get 98. Yeah, we got 98. So this is
So what is char code at 1.98 because?
okay. So here basically, if you search for let me just show you ANSI code. Okay, so this is the full form. Actually, I do not remember all the time this full form, honestly. So whenever actually you deal with computers, no, it have the code, right? You don't know if you write A or B or C, something like that. So it have some representation of them. So now if you can see, even including your all the symbols, how many this laptop support, for everything they have a ASCII code. Okay, so here as you can see, if I type here 33, I will get this here exclamatory mark, and for this H we have this 35. So in case of capital A, we got this 65, and small b we got this 98. So from 65 to this 90, we have this capital letter ABC, means alphabet. From 97 to 122, we have this small letter alphabet. Okay, it's printing based on this. Okay, so that's why we are getting those number, and here we are passing the index number of this string. So here 1, and this will be 0, and B will be at the 1 index. So that's why we are getting this code for the B. Okay, now let's move to other. So we have concat, and here in with includes. So let's C here. End with and provide here C. I got this true. Why? Because this string is ending with C. If I write here A, it will just return me false because A doesn't exist there. But right now, let me show you another one thing. So I wrote here C and executed. And here you go. Can you tell me why I got this false? Because here it's in capital letter and a small letter here. So as I have shown just before, that both are
Case
not
sensitive.
same. Yeah, case sensitive.
Yeah.
So right now, how can I get my exact answer? Because this should be true, right? So how can I get that? So for that, before matching, I will just convert this first number into uppercase or lowercase. And I will do the same with this string as well. So now let's say name dot, here I will apply to lowercase. And then I will apply this end with. Now here I will write to lowercase here as well. Now if you go, you will get this true. Because there is a chances that here user may provide this capital letter as well. Right? Because this is something what user can input. So this can be sometimes capital letter or small letter. So I don't want to miss any one of the case. So that's why I have converted both of them into a smaller, means same case. And after that only I am comparing them. This is the one of the learning. Actually, we have to make sure whenever we compare or do something like this, we have to make sure it follow the same case. Otherwise, in few case it will work, and in few in capital letter, let's say it's working, then in lowercase it will not work. So then that will be an issue. So this is how we can convert this into a lowercase as well. And instead of this, we can provide uppercase and it will get converted into uppercase. And here we have this include, and I can write here a string or substring, you can say. So let's say I wrote here AB. Right now, if I execute, it will tell me a Boolean value, whether this AB exists in this first name or not, which is here. That's why it's printed true. Now, if I remove and pass a C, small c, it will return me false because small c doesn't exist. Let's say pass here capital C, and here you go. Okay, now here and here you go. I have this. Okay, so this is how we can use this include to find a particular substring. Right now, I can pass here any one of the letter, and I can check what is the index of that. So if you do remember last what we were doing, means character at, we were passing the index and we were getting the letter. But right now I can pass the letter and I can get index of it. So here I passed B and B at the first index, and here you go, I have. So I can do this. In order to get this suggestion, what you have to do just declare your variable with a string and you will get all of this here. Okay, now let's talk about this trim. So trim is something when you have space at the first. So I have space here this many, and at last as well I have this space. Right now if I print, as you can see, it got printed with space. Otherwise it could have been here, right, left aligned completely, but it has shifted. So right now, in order to remove the white spaces, I can use trim. And here you go. As you can see, it have trim from the outside and inside, both. In order to understand this, let's write here value dot length. Okay, which will give me the length. Okay, I don't need to call as a function. I just need to write something like this. And as you can see, we can see only 3 letter, but here it's till 10 because I have added white space. Now we know that this is 10. So let me just do trim. So trim dot length. And now let's see, we got here 3, because 3 letters exactly we have here. Now we have something option called to trim at the one end as well. So name dot trim a start. Let's say if you want to remove only at the first, not after that. So you can go with this. And let me find the length here. So inside length. And here you go, 7. If I want to trim at the last only, I need to go with trim end. This is a function. And let's see. Okay, so this is how, if you want to remove this space, you have to go with trim a start. If you want to remove this space, you have to go with trim end. And if you want to remove both of them, go with trim. So now this you can understand in case of username. So because whenever you take a username, means user can input, let's say 1 or 2 empty space without knowing, and he wrote the email ID. So before comparing and matching with your database, that email, what you can do, you can always trim that. Definitely you can't do with the password, because there's a chance that empty, means this space can be his password. So we cannot do there. But in case of actually username, definitely we can do that. So tomorrow we will start learning about the functions. We will see how to define a function, call a function,